This is Dave Meltzer with Entrepreneurs, the Playbook, and I have a super entrepreneur, Brandon Routh. Everybody knows he's an extraordinary actor, but he's also an entrepreneur and working and helping entrepreneurs as well with Templeton Distilleries and their Entrepreneurs Grant Program. Brandon, welcome to the Playbook.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
We were talking about how circumstances change in our careers, and I was looking back, going, I don't know how I've done 800 of these things, and teasing you that this is editable since you're such a consummate professional. But on the other side, I'm always amazed how many actors, celebrities, entertainers are involved in entrepreneurship. And so my first question is, what is it about entrepreneurship that you have a passion for? Because obviously, acting is a passion, and you have to love it to do it. I feel the same way about entrepreneurship. What is it that you love about entrepreneurship to get you so involved?
Well, I think that first of all, my business is my business, and I am my own business, and I'm the one motivating myself to do better, to learn the skills that I need to do, motivate myself to move out of a small town in Iowa, to come out here and to continue doing this. In order to do that, you really have to kind of believe in yourself, and some of that is just blind faith, I guess, to a degree. And so I admire anyone who has that within them to take that chance, to see a future that isn't there, but see the potential for it, and create the path to bring that future into the real material world. And I think the cool thing about Templeton is, yes, they're from Iowa, and very proud of people and businesses that are doing good things and coming out of Iowa. And the fact that at this time they're investing, through this grant in small businesses, I think is a really powerful thing to help kickstart small businesses that have largely, I'm sure, been affected negatively through quarantine and everything that's been happening.
Growing up in Iowa, you went to University of Iowa. There's so many of my friends that are, making their mark on the world, including some of your, joint judges like Hill Harper and others that I know. But what do you think it is about places like Iowa that create a certain value or perspective? I think you even played high school soccer against another great actor, Jason Momoa, who played Aquaman. He's got Superman and Aquaman both playing soccer together in Iowa. This is, the world we're living in, obviously. But, what are some of the core values growing up and being a Hawkeye that you've carried over that you think have helped you? I'm from Akron, Ohio, and we have Steph Curry, LeBron James, and I take pride in kind of that Akronite attitude and values. What are some of those values that you grew up with that you think have helped all these great people from Iowa?
I think compassion, and compassion for your neighbor, is something that I they call it the golden rule, and treat others how you choose to be treated. Now, not everyone is going to represent that, but that's one of the things that I took from my upbringing in Iowa. And I think one of the qualities is maybe a little bit of, I don't know if people would think of this as a positive quality necessarily, but naivete that I had when coming out here, because I was definitely protected from a lot of the challenges of life, and I didn't see different perspectives of life, which maybe would have made me have a more negative or less optimistic approach to life, because I was a little bit protected, shall I say, and other people in other parts of the world in the United States had a much more challenging upbringing. So with that naivete, I was able to dream more and think maybe my dream was a possibility. It's an Iowa quality, but it is a cult. That is an aspect of community.
It's interesting that you use the word dream because, so many dreams are shattered in acting as well as entrepreneurship because people, I think, don't realize how much work is involved in making a dream come true and how much patience is involved. I'm blessed later on in my career to be involved in my own movies and TV shows, and everyone is so excited. And I'm a very impatient person coming from more the business aspect of getting things done quickly. And when I did, my first show that I was actually in, I could not even fathom how slowly things happen and how much pace. I mean, it is serious, but not only, filming takes a long time, but to get to the point where you have an opportunity and, you graduated in 99, left for New York, like a typical dreamer, to be this great actor. And everyone, sees you in 2004 as instant celebrity for being Superman in Superman Returns, but there was 4 or 5 long years of rejection. Being an extra, being told you'll never make it. I'm sure even in Iowa, some of your family and friends may have told you, "Hey, maybe it's time to get a real job." And what people don't know about entrepreneurship, because it's a little bit more sexy these days. But back when I was growing up, if you told people you were an entrepreneur, you might as well told them that you were an actor, because their next question was, "Oh, you wait tables." Uh, what do you think it is, that subtle success, that spirit of excellence that allows you not only to be patient enough to, evolve your craft and opportunities, but persistent enough to stay with it while you're waiting for it all to happen?
A lot of things. I think that you have to be okay with rejection, or you have to learn to be okay with rejection, because no matter what business you're in, it's going to happen in life. It happens to a larger degree, maybe as an actor, as an entrepreneur told no, whether it's the bank or investors or who saying no, customers saying no, we don't want this yet, this product, continually being told no, but a belief in self and a belief in the possibility of yourself and the goal that you have, is a part of it. I think the vulnerability is important. I didn't know it at the time, but being vulnerable enough to go, oh, so I'm getting rejected, and then being able to look at it and say, what can I do differently? I made this mistake. Now, how do I change so that I don't make the same mistake again? And that's been something I've taken me a long time to learn. I think it would have been further along in my career had I been able to do that, have that self-awareness and introspection, and say, oh, I made a mistake here. It's not the other person. Or even if it isn't the other person, is there still something that I can change? How can I improve? That's a big thing. And then just realizing that the mistakes that you make are opportunities to grow and to learn from them. And you get to be upset, but after that period of being upset that you made a mistake or somebody made a mistake, it's time to kind of move past that and see how that's an opportunity to learn something new that you didn't understand about your business or yourself before.
And you guys, with Templeton Distillery, their grant program, and being one of the panelists, you're going to have to reject a lot of people because there's going to be so many people. It started in May, I think May 10th. It'll run through next year, July 11th. And you guys, I think, will announce the winners next August. What's it like being on the other side of the table, being a panelist and being someone who has to be able to, say no to some and say yes to the select few? How do you handle that role after being a victim of judgment and condition for so long?
Yeah, well, contest entries are accepted until July 11th of this year. For anybody watching, you
this year, right?
This year, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that aspect of it. Yes, yeah. But I think it's when preparation meets opportunity is something that kind of is a saying that I often think of, and I feel like in this instance, there's an opportunity to help a business here and look at what the business is doing in a different way than maybe we would have in the past. I mean, I'm really looking we'll be looking at companies who are looking to make an impact socially. I think that's really important for me. There's been a lot of social upheaval and change in the last year and a half, important change, and art. I've become into better understanding of how important art is, and the art that I do, and how important movies and television are for helping shift the social agenda and social awareness of the world. And I think companies who have an eye toward that are really what I'm going to be looking for. That's what I'm going to be looking for in awarding this. And how does that do with rejection? I don't know, but it's part of it. It's part of the job of being an entrepreneur. I don't know how to answer that question.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And to that matter too, it seems as if you use gratitude to help you, as one door often closes on entrepreneurs and on actors, another one opens. And I always say that those pains, the setbacks, the failures, the mistakes, the rejection that we receive, I've always had kind of the top to miss Midwest attitude as well of, hey, this is just pushing me to something better. And I look to your career, and you're sitting on top of the world, and then moving on from Superman, there must have been a void or a fear that exists, but you and your fan base just keep growing into bigger and better projects, and the impact that you can have through the continual successes that you have is even greater. Where has that evolved for you, the understanding as we look back through the successes and failures, to gain that gracious confidence that, look, nothing's forever, but when one door closes, another one's going to open?
Yeah, I think life is about ebb and flow. Seasons change. Change is always happening. There's nothing sure about life except for change, or whatever that.
Right. I always say nobody likes change except for a wet baby.
Yeah, and then you must change. It must change that. Nobody's on top forever. No sports team is on top forever. They always have. They reign for a little bit, and then they lose and they come down back to the real world. No actor is on top of their game forever. And I've absolutely had my challenges, successes and challenges, and I've learned more from the challenges, and grown more as an individual from those hard times. And there have been many. There are a few Brad Pitts and Tom Hanks, especially these days. They're even fewer and far between. So the life of an actor is not one of consistency and stability necessarily. You have to spend your money wisely. You have to be frugal at some point, and understand that when people think you have all this money, or you have all this success, you have this happiness, that's an image that everyone wants to project on you. But you have to know that and not be tricked by that either. It's easy to fall into what other people see of you also, and then not live in reality. So I think it's the continual self-awareness, checking in with yourself, and being vulnerable, again, to change, and knowing that even in the hard times, there is a cycle. It's a cycle to everything. And just in this, with quarantine and COVID-19 and everything, there was not a lot of work happening. Productions were shutting down, and those that were up, it was a very tenuous situation. You get through periods of like, will I ever work again? Or will I get the job that I want? There are a lot of jobs, but is it something that's fulfilling to me? And so I go through cycles with my wife of us coming together and having like a prosperity meeting, where we check in. It's not a thing. We haven't really labeled it a thing, but that actually is a thing. We should name it that, because that's what happens every once in a while. You know what? We have to stop thinking out of lack and living in lack, and live in gratitude and prosperity, and be thankful and say, thank you, universe, God. We're appreciative of the jobs that are coming to us here now, even as we speak these words. It's coming to us. And as soon as we do that kind of thing, or we make an investment in our house that we don't necessarily have, we know it's going to benefit our emotional and spiritual selves. even though it may be a little bit of a risk financially, if it's an investment in ourselves, we find that then that brings prosperity, because we're investing and saying we believe in ourselves, we believe in the energy of the energy. There's a lot of attraction and all those kind of things.
Yeah, you're talking my language. I always say that's a create a void for the universe to fill, because the universe is much more exact and reliable than human beings. And so
Yeah,
many times we try to oversell, back and sell, and manipulate or control things instead of just trusting. I always say faith is the ultimate GPS, right? Not only will it reroute us when we're moving in the wrong direction, but it'll actually change the destination to a better place for us, which would be really nice in a car to have. You have a
yeah,
very diverse fan base. Obviously, probably why Routh was so excited to have you on board, because obviously with what you're doing for entrepreneurs, with entrepreneurs, and let's not discount the extraordinary product that Templeton produces.
right.
Big fan, drinking responsibly, of course.
Yes.
Now, is there one of the particular, I have several different flavors or distilled products here with me. Is there one that favored over another?
As far as what Templeton
Yeah,
produces,
yeah.
I've just been so far. I've just been working on and haven't had too much of the 10-year reserve, which I think is the new
Yeah.
lovely product. And I don't drink a lot of. In the past, I haven't had a lot of rye whiskey, so it's been an exploration for me. I'm not a huge drinker these days, but when I do like something clean. When I'm working to be healthy, I'm not drinking mixed beers anymore. I'm drinking straight liquor, whatever it is. And so I've really appreciated what Templeton's done, and being able to learn and explore the great stuff that Templeton's doing. So I'm really liking this one. I haven't opened up the other ones yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna open up that one. I had the 6-year. I was saving the 10-year for more of a special occasion. And I, like you, I like to sip alcohol on ice, no mixers. And I will tell you, Templeton was extraordinary. Also, in benefit of whiskey itself, I meet a bunch of people over 100 years old, and my favorite question is always, "What's the secret to life?" And invariably, besides being happy, making humor, there's always something about being happy in there. The other one is people who live over 100 seem to have one drink a day. And it's whiskey is one of those things. Tequila and whiskey seem to be the most common things that keep us alive in moderation. So take
Tequila is
care.
my other favorite these days.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, there's something about it's the alcohol. It's just like drinking hot tea. Hot tea once a day is also one of those things that's good, because it's killing bacteria that may be present in your mouth, that kind of thing. And this would have a similar effect of killing bacteria.
Exactly. Much more pleasant than much more present than Listerine, I'll tell you that, though. And you're going to be selecting 3 small businesses, $10,000 each. July 11th will be the end of the competition, and the winners will be announced in August. What's your newest project that you're working on? Is it The Rookie?
I finished The Rookie, season 3 of The Rookie, which was a great opportunity, very challenging character for me to play, being a pretty racist police officer. But I think it was an opportunity to really bring to light some important social issues, and I'm really happy with how the production and the writers handled the storyline, and excited to be a part of that. And I've got a few things lined up that I can't quite talk about yet, but
Good. Well, we're excited always to see the latest and greatest. And I know, as a distant relative to Franklin D. Roosevelt, you have presidential things in store for us. You are in a spirit of excellence. So it must be from generation handed down to success. And you and your wife only deserve great blessings. Thank you for all you're doing to impact the world through your acting, but now even through entrepreneurship, supporting your local companies with Templeton as well. Just really a pleasure to have you